Recording. Okay. Um, so as the title of this was, we're going to talk about the law of attraction today. And first, if you have not watched The Secret on Netflix, I encourage you to do that. It's kind of older. I'm not sure what year it was made. It's a little bit weird, but the message in it and the information that they have in there is really, really good. And that's like what the whole thing is about, is like the law of attraction, what I'm going to talk to you about today. So if you don't know what the law of attraction is, basically, like I like to think of it like a magnet, which we're magnetic lashes, no pun intended. But it's basically what you put out into the universe or whatever you're gonna get back. So whatever is going on in your mind on a daily basis, if you're like thinking all of these negative thoughts and focusing on the bad and complaining, you're most likely gonna get that back. So what's going on in your mind is most likely going to go on in your life. And I'm guilty of this too sometimes, a lot of times, like having to stop myself from thinking these bad things because then I just notice that my days go bad. So most people focus, like the majority of people focus on what they do not want, right? But like they're sitting here focusing on what they don't want and they wonder like, why is this happening to me? So like maybe debt, for example, if you're sitting there thinking about all the debt that you have and like, I don't want this debt, I don't want to pay these bills, most likely you're going to end up having more debt and you're going to start like noticing more bills and like you're not going to have money. It's weird, I don't know, but it's the way that things work. um, Also, like if you're having a bad morning, this is why it's important to start your mornings with like self-development or journaling or gratitude, because if you have a bad morning, your whole attitude is probably going to be bad, right? And then the rest of the day you're going to be focusing like, why is this bad thing happening to me, and I hate this person, and like this whole day is just shit because of one little thing that happened in the morning. So you're constantly the rest of the day putting out this negative energy and it's getting fed back into your life. um, Also, like a little example, if you're on your way to work, I used to do this all the time. If you're on your way to work and you're running late and you're sitting
Okay.
there like, shit, I'm going to be late, I don't want to be late, I'm going to get in trouble again, what happens most of the time is you're most likely going to be late because you're sitting there thinking about it and like all these roadblocks come up, you might get all these red lights. It's a silly example, but like that is how the law of attraction works in like every aspect of your life. um, because your mind cannot differentiate between what you want and what you don't want. So if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I don't want to hit a red light, I don't want to hit a red light, I don't want to hit a red light, you're most likely going to hit all the fucking red lights that there is in the town. But if you switch that to, I'm going to get all green lights, all green lights, all green lights, it's weird. But like if you're focusing on red light, your mind cannot determine whether you want that or not. It's just focusing on that one thing. So you have to switch it to like, I want the green light, if that makes sense. And that's a stupid example, but that's what's in the law of attraction. They use that red light, green light example. Um, and like complaining, if you're complaining all day, when you're complaining, you're looking like you're literally looking for the bad in everything. If you go to a restaurant and you start complaining about one thing, you're probably going to complain about the waitress, and then you're going to complain about your drink, or you're going to complain about your bill. It's just a disaster. The next thing I wanted to talk about in my notes is, you've probably heard before, the 5 people you surround yourself with are the average of what you're going to be. Okay. And I sat down and I was watching part of The Secret last night to kind of refresh myself. And I was thinking that is probably the case, because if you're surrounding yourself with 5 negative, broke, nasty people, their thoughts and their actions and their words rub off on you. And like, what's the word for it? Not determine. Like they manipulate your whole mindset and you start acting and speaking and thinking like those 5 people. So there's a quote somewhere, if you surround yourself with 4 millionaires, you'll be the fifth, or something like that. And that's because if you surround yourself with successful people, you're going to start thinking like them, because you're conversating with these people, you're like hearing what they do on a daily basis. You're going to start talking like them, thinking like them, doing what they're doing to be successful. So you really have to watch who you surround yourself with. And I know it's not always easy, especially when those people are like friends and close friends and family, because you can't always, just like push them completely out of your life. Um, let's see, what else do I have here? if you are focusing on, let's just say in your business, okay? In your business, if you're focusing on, it's hard to enroll customers and nobody wants these lashes and they're too expensive and nobody wants to join the business, the law of attraction is going to give you exactly that. Okay, you're going to get customers that don't like the lashes, that complain about the liner, that complain about everything. You're going to get people that are going to tell you, no, they don't want anything to do with your business, or they're going to unfollow you. You're going to get just a lot of negative people. You might enroll people as affiliates, but they're probably not going to do anything because you're putting off this negative energy, like no one wants what I have. So you have to switch that. And I'll get into that in a minute when I talk about affirmations. You have to switch that mindset and start believing in yourself and putting out what you want to get back. And the law of attraction, you guys, is, I'm religious. I believe in God. Law of attraction is actually in the Bible many, many times. It doesn't straight up come and say law of attraction, but this law of attraction has been around for thousands of years. It's in the Bible. It literally says, there is power in the tongue. Okay, there is power in the words that you speak and that you think on a daily basis. It also says life or death is in your words. So I wholeheartedly believe in everything that has to do with all of this, because actually a few weeks ago we needed a specific amount of money for something, and I was thinking about it and I was like trying to manifest this, and we got a check in the mail for the exact amount. Granted, it was from him working, but we weren't expecting that check for like 2 weeks after that time. So it was crazy that it came in the mail right when it did, right when we needed it. And some things that you can do to practice law of attraction, okay? One, when you are starting to think, it's not that we don't have negative thoughts, like as leaders, we have negative thoughts. It's just the practice of pushing those out and replacing them with positive thoughts. So gratitude in the morning is something that will get your mind in the right space, because if you're waking up, I don't care if it's on a napkin or just some piece of paper that you find, write down the things that you're grateful for in life and thank God for those things. Because if you wake up with a grateful heart, your day is going to be so much better. And there was a saying, I don't know exactly how it went, but it was like, if you woke up tomorrow morning with the things that you thanked God for, what would you have? And some days I would have absolutely nothing, because I don't thank God for the little things that I do have, because I'm focusing on the negative things. So gratitude, writing out every morning what you're grateful for. I don't care if it's, the sun shining that day, or your Starbucks, or your dogs, or the clothes on your back. Also, your affirmations, okay? Write down your affirmations. There's so much power in putting your thoughts to paper, physically writing them out and declaring what you want. Some affirmations that I have written here is, my mindset is shifting. Okay, we're writing out, I don't care if this is the case or not, we're writing it out like it's already happened, like you already have it. So my mindset is shifting. I am a money magnet. Okay, we're not going to focus on debt anymore. We're going to focus on, I have money, I'm a money magnet, because we want those things to come to us. My bills are paid on time every single month. Okay, that's something that I struggle with. And so I'm writing it down like it's already done, like it's already a thing, because my mind is going to start working in that way. And then I'm going to start saving money in that way and putting, budgets where they need to be. And I'm writing this out every single morning. I might have different ones every morning. But as for business, I enroll dream customers. And what I mean by that is people who love the lashes, who send me their selfies, who text me before I even get the chance to ask them if they've gotten their lashes. Okay, I want dream customers. We've all had those negative people who are not so pleasant, and they're not fun. So we're not going to focus on those people. We're going to focus on the dream customers that we want. The same thing goes for affiliates. I'm speaking into existence that I have a badass team that loves to wake up every morning and work hard for their vision and their goals. I enroll people who have an amazing work ethic, who jump right in, start posting before I even have to tell them to do it. Those are the things that I'm writing down, pen to paper, every single day. And I encourage you to do this every single day and watch how it works. Watch how your mindset shifts, how your business shifts. That's the gist of what I had in my notes. Hope, did you want to add yours before?
I am just going to shift just a smidge. And of course, right when I start talking, my kids start fighting. So bear with me here if you hear them screaming in the background. Um, if you're not religious, just bear with me and spend this any way that you need to help with your mindset. I know for me and for Sadie and for Kendall, we all, and I think this is partially why we work so well together, we all are Christian. We do believe in God. So I'm sorry if this makes you uncomfortable, but I'm going to roll with it because I feel like the right people who need to hear this are going to hear this. I personally, I pray over, I do believe in the law of attraction 100%. And I practice this in my personal life. And this is something that we're all learning and trying to bring to the team as a whole. However, I also, on top of that, I pray over my business every single day. And when I say that I pray over my business, you guys, I don't mean, oh, I really pray that I hit director this month. Like, I don't keep it open ended like that. I do not pray over me and my business specifically. I have a list in my planner of the name of every single person on my team, whether they are plugged in or not. If they are an active affiliate on my team, their name is written down in my planner. And when I tell you that I pray over every single one of those people every single day, I'm not kidding you. I truly do. And a lot of these girls, if I don't know them personally, I just pray over their life. But a lot of these girls, I know the struggles that are happening in their lives behind the scenes. I know the struggles that are holding them back from feeling like they can fully succeed in this business. I've had those conversations with them. And so I know these behind the scenes issues that are going on. I pray over those individual things for every single person on my team that I'm able to every single day. And I cannot even put into words what I've seen that do for me, for them, for my business as a whole. I'm not going to go into like total specifics, but I have seen things happen at the very last minute of the month that I'm like, wow, I prayed over this all month long. I truly, neither of us thought that this girl was going to hit this goal or that this paycheck was going to come. But because I prayed over it, it's like at the very last minute, God just came through and is like, surprise, like I've got you covered. And that I carry that over into my personal life too, not just my business. The power of prayer, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions, is they don't call it the power of prayer for no reason. It is so incredibly powerful. And when combined with the law of attraction, you guys, your life can change so drastically. I have one example before I get off and go figure out what's happening with my children. Kind of like Sadie was saying, where she was manifesting this bill coming in to help because they were behind on this one bill. Something really similar happened to us. And Sadie and I had this moment a couple weeks ago where we shared these stories with each other. And we were both like, holy moly, I cannot even believe that this is happening. But I want you guys to have like a tangible example of the law of attraction and the power of prayer working within our lives. So I'm going to share this with you. Back in May, my husband was laid off from his job due to COVID. And we were like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Like, how is this possible? I had just gotten I'm not going to go into numbers, but I had just gotten a pretty hefty paycheck from Tory Bell, okay, back in April, that was able to pay all of our bills for 2 months. Okay. And so we were kind of sitting pretty. We were like, yeah, we've got this, da, da, da. Then May happened. My husband was laid off and we were down to only my income. Now, keep in mind, this is tax season. We had filed our taxes back at the beginning of February. All right. It's now the middle of May. We had not received our tax return. No idea why. Come the first week of June, everyone we know had already gotten their stimulus checks and their tax returns. We had not received either one. We were still okay. At this point, my husband was on unemployment and we still had some money left from my really good check that I had gotten back in April. So we were still caught up on our bills. We weren't overly stressed, but we were kind of like, why have we not gotten our stimulus checks? Why have we not gotten our tax return? That's really strange. I'm not understanding why our money is held up. I firmly believe, because this is something Sadie and I have also discussed, that my spending habits are horrendous. It's something I'm actively working on within my personal life right now, because I truly believe that I'm not being blessed with those big checks anymore because I don't know how to handle them. So it's something I'm having to work on. But so first week of June, we're like, why have we not gotten this money? I don't understand. Well, my husband's on unemployment. We're okay, whatever. We're traveling. He's laid off work. I'm working from home. My kid hadn't started kindergarten yet. So we're traveling all over the place. We're going to see family we haven't been able to see for years. And the first week of July hits, 4th of July weekend. And we were on vacation. My husband's unemployment check was supposed to hit Tuesday morning, and it didn't. We had blown through all of our money. We had, I think, $40 in our checking account. We were up in North Dakota for a trip for the 4th of July. We had no money to get home. His unemployment check didn't come through on July 7th, 6th or 7th, whatever that Tuesday was. It didn't come through, and we were like, oh no, like what, why is this happening? Why did he get kicked off? And I took a step back. My husband was panicking. He's not quite on the same journey that I'm on right now. He's having a full-blown panic attack. I took a step back and I was like, there's a reason for this. I know in my heart that there is some reason that he didn't get his unemployment. It's going to be okay. We're going to get home. There's going to be a check in the mail. I just know it. And he's like, you're crazy. It's been 5 months. 6 months. We haven't gotten our tax return. What makes you think we're going to get home this afternoon and it's going to be there? Guess what was in my mailbox that afternoon when we got home? Our tax return. And we got 2 kids. So imagine, our tax return was pretty, okay? So our tax return was there. We were able to catch up on our bills, pay my mom back for the money that we had to borrow just to get home from North Dakota. It was crazy. He ended up, he had lost his unemployment. They had kicked him off. It's like a whole thing. The same thing ended up happening in August. We had a trip planned that we had already paid for to go to North Carolina for 10 days. And yet again, we found ourselves, we went through our tax return paying all of our bills. I still wasn't getting these really big checks anymore. And so I was like, okay, we need to pay rent before we go. Like, we can't not pay rent. 2 days before we left for our trip, guess what came in the mail? Our stimulus check. And it was always right after I took a step back and I was like, I prayed over it. I was like, I know that there's a reason that everyone else got their stimulus checks and their tax returns in March and April, and we haven't gotten ours yet. It's going to come when we need it. It's going to come when I feel like we've lost all hope. We're going to lose our house. We're going to not be able to put food on the table. That's when this money is going to come in. And you guys, it did. And so that happened to us twice. It just, things like that keep happening. And it's not always financial. Sometimes it's the right people coming into your life at the right time. Sometimes it's, like my daughter was in the hospital. Those of you who know, she was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago with it ended up being bacterial pneumonia, but we didn't know at the time. We were there for a week. They didn't know what was going on, and I was just praying for clarity over what I could do as a mom that maybe the doctors were missing. And I'm not fully going to go into this topic right now because it's a touchy topic, but I did get the clarity that I needed. They were able to figure out what was wrong with her. And I'm not kidding you guys, within a 10-minute time span of me, not necessarily sitting and praying, but within me getting the clarity that I had been praying for, 10 minutes later, my daughter, who had been asleep for 27 hours, okay, with absolutely no explanation as to what was going on, she woke up. Her core temp was back up to normal. Her infection was seemingly gone. Doctors were like, this is wild. It was a medical miracle, a medical mystery. It was absolutely insane. So it's not always financial, you guys. And I'm not saying that, everyone with an illness or every time you're broke, that if you pray over it or you manifest it, that it's going to happen in the way that you want it to. I'm not saying that, but I do firmly believe that there is a reason for every single thing that you go through, and that if you involve the law of attraction and the power of prayer into your life, that every single day your life is going to change so drastically. So that's all. I just wanted to give those little stories for you guys. I could go more into detail if you want to know. Feel free to reach out to me, but on here I'm not going to go fully into detail. But I love you guys. Sadie or Kendall, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I have had things like that happen too. I'm not going to get into detail and share my stories, but it's insane. It's insane. And the podcast that I shared in the chat this morning by Stephen Furtick, he is a pastor. It was crazy. It was so crazy because it hit me in all the right places in my situation, and like it was weird how that all worked out. But in that podcast, you know, the thing that stuck out to me the most is he said, God is always in control, but he's not always going to take control. Okay, there's some things that are completely up to you to do. He is there, he is in control, but you also have willpower and you also have to do the things. So you can't just write on a piece of paper like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and then just like set it to side and forget about it. You have to actually full heartedly believe in those things and pray over those things and just be serious about it. You can't just, like I said, you can't just write it down and expect it to happen. That's not how it works. The last thing I have to say is last night I wrote myself a letter, and I really hope that you guys do the same, because I feel like I did this a long time ago, and I didn't take it seriously back then. I was with my first company, but I wrote myself a letter last night. I can read you a little part of it. It's for my future self, okay? And this letter is going to sit on my desk. I'm going to read it every single day. I'm not going to read the first part because it's kind of personal, but the second part says, just look at the life that you've built for you and Rosalie. You dreamed of this. I'm going to get emotional because it's very, very important to me. You dreamed of this, prayed for this, worked so damn hard for this. You're able to give back to your family and team, buy everything your baby needs and wants. And most importantly, you can take care of yourself by yourself. This is what you overcame all of those obstacles for. God always had this plan for you. And I sit, and when I read it, I envision myself sitting in a house that I built myself with a wraparound porch and my dogs and my kid running around in the backyard. So I really hope that you do the same, because it is powerful. Obviously, I get emotional just thinking about it. And envisioning your life and what you want to build is so, so important. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. I'm going to hop off of here, but I hope that you all have a great weekend, and I love you guys. Bye.